Okay. Are you recording?
Yeah, on multiple fronts.
We are here. We are here. In
Zimbabwe.
In Zim
Babwe.
Boys in the chat, boys in the chat, boys in the chat.
Oh, wait. Are we recording video as well? No, we're not going to do video. That's fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
I thought
Our first one.
I thought we were doing video.
Our first one. No, I was then going to set up my phone so we can actually get crisp quality. But that's a whole other process because I don't have my full setup actually. I'm going to need to have a Zim setup and a Cape Town setup, Phil. This is going to be
bi-coastal.
going to be
bi-coastal. You know what I'm saying?
it's going to be an expensive situation here. Yeah. You see, Phil, for the next few months, at least, I'm going to have to be between Zim and Cape Town because Taz has just started a new job this side. So, I'm between the two. Obviously, a great option would have been, hey, why don't we just all move to Cape Town? But, that's not really an option at the moment. But, Stu, I will when I figure out my home setup with the video, then we'll do video. So next episode we should have video, but this one it's okay. We can just just do the audio.
Let the record show that it was Dan that cost us, not Phil. Phil was ready.
Phil,
So what kind of video quality is this?
here.
Okay, it's on the local side. It's looking good. It's looking good. And then I'll just send you the local file and wish bash bosh. Because I'm recording on QuickTime.
You even wore a collared shirt and everything. Okay, all right.
We out here selling dreams, man. Come on, we out here selling dreams.
You went and got yourself trimmed and everything. All right. You know what? I could theoretically set this up.
I had a lot of meetings, but it's cool. And I don't know if I told you, I was forced to getting a new laptop. So now I'm no lag, no freezing, nothing.
What do you mean you were forced? Phil, you were lying to me. I thought we were together in these struggles, and you're telling me
Intel struggles. Yeah, the Intel struggle. I was there until I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
and then I even hit you up.
can't.
And I was like, "You're my guy." But then shit, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm not touching a 14 inch. I never thought. Or what type of fool do you take me for?" 14 inch.
Okay, all right. No, it's okay.
Okay. So I just got my 14 inch angle. It's got my 14 inch, but it's good. It's fine. The weird thing is my MacBook and my iPad are the same size.
Anyway, this is not what the listeners have waited 2 long months of radio silence to hear.
And that's right, because
We are here.
That's right. And after 2 months off, we are
Good to go.
Dan, are you?
Hey.
Good to go.
Hey. I am good to go, but you're going to have to do the good to go sounds now.
Because some might say, but we cannot. Because we are
Good to go.
Let me hear a drum play. Let me hear a drum play.
Good to go. Good to go. One day, welcome back one more again. It's a brand new year, brand new Two Broke Twimbos. We are back, and I know you done missed us. Welcome to another episode of Two Broke Twimbos. I'm not going to be doing the accent thing no more. I figured that's a 2025 thing. But still, my name is Danny, that guy, aka Danos the Mad Titan, aka Denford Wegumaraini, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka it's a new year, new me, new things. What's going on, guys? Aka Hakuna Moment Itanmu.
That's right. The unmistakable, the irrefutable, the unquestionable, the undeniable, the entering the new yearable. Phil Chart, aka Flip Floss, the big boss, aka Fidzapi, aka Filthy Phil, Sexington Lovo, DJ Mkaradi, and of course, Shamari Dingromota. You know, I've realized that we're aiming low. We need to aim higher. You know what I mean?
In Zimbabwe, you can't say that, Phil, because there's other implications.
But let's be clear. Can I'm not take a motor and it's a hybrid. And it's smaller than 2 liters. Right there. So it's a V8 Ford. Right there. I won't go beyond that. Connect the dots. Right there. Hey.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Hallelujah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get straight into it. Let's start off with our very first Africans doing it big of the year. Of course, there are probably so many Africans and Zimbabweans who did big things over the last 2 months. But we're only going to focus on a few from more recent times. First of all, allow me to shout out Zimbabwe, who was at AFCON. And specifically, I want to shout out Tawanda Maswanise, who captured the hearts of a continent. He scored incredible goals for Zimbabwe. And not only that, he played with such flair that he was recognized as one of the players of the tournament.
Oh, nice.
Even though Zimbabwe did not progress far.
But yeah, we're there with swag. It's about making a short impact. You know what I mean? Just an impact. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about.
Right now, if you want to follow his journey, he's currently playing for Scottish team Motherwell.
Oh, he's playing for Scotland FC. Nice.
Every while they're a team called Scotland and Zimbabwe, every match day, they are just putting up the graphic of goal Maswanise. People are like, bro, I think you need to update this graphic. We done seen it too many times now. Man is on fire. It's just a matter of time before he gets a big money move, I think, to I mean, no disrespect to Motherwell, but to a bigger team. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tawanda Maswanise. Shout out to Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, we were not able to go far, and there were some frustrations. But we did at least get a point versus Angola. So, you know.
We are here.
Let's continue celebrating Zimbabweans doing big things. See, Phil, in our notes here, we have a picture. Do you know where that picture came from?
Where did this picture?
Grok. Grok.
Now is not the time to be, peddling the tools of our oppressors.
So, this past month, I have paid ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and Claude.
Okay.
All four of those. And I can tell you that they are all... Look, they all seem to be coalescing to a somewhat of a plateauing, but they each have their things that they're good at. And Grok is really good at finding trending stories and the context around them. And no surprise, because I mean, its corpus of training material is Twitter, mainly, along with everything else. But yeah, anyway, so when I was putting together the story, I was like, okay, listen, get me more information on this, and this. Grok was like, all right, cool, here you go. Here's some pictures. This book won this award. Here's a picture of the book. Here's a picture of the author. I was like, yo, none of my other tools do this. Anyway, celebrating Zimbabweans, Mr. Dixon Chibanda, he won a Book Pal Owl Award for the Friendship Bench. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Doctor, let me refer to him correctly, Dr. Dixon Chibanda. I think it was December. Yeah, he was a speaker at an event that I was at. He is such an interesting person. And if you haven't heard of the Friendship Bench, the story behind it is, there's obviously so many undiagnosed and untreated mental health problems here in Africa. But he was like, well, how were they sort of handled pre-modern medicine? And one of the things was simply just having someone to talk to. And he created this concept of grannies sitting on a bench. So you just sit and you talk to the grannies on the bench. And the results that came out from him doing this were staggering in terms of how many people reported feeling better, how many, the drop in things like suicide cases and so on. And then he exported it from Zim, and it's now like a global thing where obviously the gold standard is to have, medical professionals, but not everyone always has access to that. And some people might argue that this is even more natural. So it's literally just, and it works for a lot of older people in society who are feeling lonely and they don't have people to talk to and so on. And for several hours a day, they sit on a bench. Someone comes and tells you about their problems, their stories. You talk and then you go. I mean, I'm super simplifying it, I'm sure. But yeah, he spoke about this and he exported it around the world, and it's become like super interesting all around the world. So anyway, his book about it, called The Friendship Bench, is it just won the OWL Award, the Outstanding Works of Literature Award, or the OWL Award. It's one of the biggest literary prizes that one can win for independent books. So congratulations to Dr. Dixon Chibanda.
Shout out to him. Actually, he hosted one of my clients for a playwright conference in December, and I was coincidentally found myself on a flight with him back to Zim, also in December. So it was nice to bump into him and had some conversations. He's also a very big deal because I had a conversation with a doctor of mental health studies in Kenya, and he was like, "Oh, you're from Zimbabwe? Do you know Dixon Chibanda? Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing." I was like,
He is. He is. So currently, the reason why he piqued my interest is because he's getting flown around to like universities and all these places around the world to discuss his findings and all of that. It's an incredible story. But yeah, I mean, these podcasts, we just thought to quickly mention the congratulations for his book. Moving on, Phil's bestie, Danai Gurira, was announced as being the cast of Invincible Season 4, one of my favorite animated shows right now.
You know what I'm saying? The 2 BT bump, Dada. The 2 BT bump. Why is it?
Hey, ever modest. Danai Gurira will be on Season 4 of Invincible, which drops March 2026 on Amazon Prime. She will be playing the character Universa. Now, those of you who are film nerds will recognize that who's the lead character of Invincible? Mark Grayson, played by Steven Yeun. Steven Yeun was on The Walking Dead with Danai Gurira. It's a full circle moment. It's a full circle moment. Steven Yeun.
Yo, yeah.
So looking forward to Season 4 of Invincible, starring Zimbabwe's very own Danai Gurira.
Yep. This was not a paid page. We must let people know, even though to support her, big fans.
It's not a what?
Like we weren't paid to push this particular narrative. So.
No, of course not, Phil. If you are joining this podcast in the beginning of 2026 and you don't know what this is about, this podcast, we discuss a lot of the things that are trending in different spaces, but we always want to start off the show with something positive. So it's a good vibe, you know what I mean? So we start off with high energy and we start off with celebrating people who have done cool stuff.
That's right. Because
it's like
we are here. That's why I don't like it's so addictive. I love saying that phrase now. Every time in a meeting today, like we're like, you're a guest, like yeah, like exactly. You've
been influenced. That's what I'm seeing
here. But I have been okay. Finish your story. Finish what you're to say, and then I'll come back. I'll throw some shade on you. But finish what you're saying.
Finally, a huge congratulations to all the Africans who are shining at the Grammys. Tyler won her back-to-back best African music performance for the song "Push to Start." Also, Fela Kuti won a posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award, first African to win such an award. So that's dope. 3 decades after his death. So congratulations to Africans. We'll delve deeper into the Grammy Awards shortly. But that's Africans doing big things. Phew! Yes, Phil, what is it that you want to complain about?
Over the last 2 months, I've been watching you fawn. I think that's a fair word. Fawn and ogle over Speed and what he's doing in Africa and this and the third. And I remember, wait a minute, didn't Dan and I discuss streaming in Speed a while back? And I went back to that episode. You did not have nice things to say about Speed, Dan. You did not.
So, first of all, that's a mischaracterization of the facts. This is a mischaracterization of the facts. I was not fawning over Speed for 2 months. I discussed Speed for exactly a week. In fact, I didn't even watch his final African streams, firstly. Secondly, rightly so, I was very critical of Speed. And because Speed was a very problematic individual, granted, he was a young individual. However, I was still unhappy. The little that I knew about him, the little, because I wasn't following streamers. Even now, I don't follow streamers. It was just a brief blip as he came to Zimbabwe. And I guess that's how it works, right? But the reason I knew the name I Show Speed was not because of anything good. He was trending because of, look, if you Google him, just get a chance. When you Google I Show Speed controversies or I Show Speed, you will see why he was a terrible person at some point. Where I give him credit is he's managed to do this whole turnaround, which is actually very impressive. He's completely rebranded and he's apologized for some of the things that he did back then. And he spoke about, listen, I was a kid, I was 17, 16, 17, and he was doing a lot of stuff just for the likes or just for the lols. But yeah, he said some really horrible stuff about women, directly to women, made some horrible threats, and stuff like that. So now he's really rebranded into a more of a positive influence. He's rebranded more into a go outside, be outside, do stuff. And I have to give him props for that. So yes, at the time I was critical of Speed and I maintain it was the right position to take. But now, he's grown up. Mm-hmm. He's probably still got some problematic. There's no way that you're going to be live on stream for hours a day, daily, and not do problematic things. You know what I mean? That's especially when you're young. It is what it is. But I think overall, he has managed to create this like positive turnaround. And in fact, while we're on the topic, we may as well talk about I Show Speed. I had it later down in the talking points.
But I guess we are here.
So in case you've been living under a rock, YouTube streamer, he's no longer a Twitch streamer because he got banned for the aforementioned controversies that I spoke about. Do you know how bad you have to be banned on Twitch? Anyway. YouTube streamer, I Show Speed, embarked on a tour of Africa. In 28 days, he went to 20 African countries and did streams from those countries. Zimbabwe was one of those countries. And I am very proud to say that we were somewhere safely in the middle of the road. Not top, but definitely not bottom. So, phew!
Yeah, man, because it was real. It was real.
And it was close. It was close. And it's amazing that it was only saved by literally one thing. But anyway, as mentioned, he was touring Africa. And I feel like you probably would have seen that somewhere, even if you don't pay attention to it, you would have seen
this.
This
could have been us there. Like, if things gone left, this could have been
my
us.
fellow, I beg you, stand. Citizens of the great nation. Like
I beg you, stand. Look.
But we they chop.
We'll come back to that in more detail later. But yeah, Uzbekistan is on fire right now.
Let me just, okay, this has already happened, so we won't spend too much time on it, but just to cast your minds back a little bit. We were not doing shows at the time, and I want to talk about it.
You guys had like a 15-hour marathon Twitter space on the topic.
It was hilarious, I tell you. Okay, so over the New Year's break, like over New Year's directly, Speed was in South Africa. I think he was in Cape Town, actually. So he streamed live from Cape Town and live from Joburg, and they did some cool stuff. You know what I mean? They Cape Town was a little bit dry, but it's also like a beautiful place. So like by default, you'll do fine. And then Joburg was very cool because he did like the whole burnouts thing, and he was, out in the streets. It was just a cool general vibe. And then after that, I think he went to Eswatini and Botswana. I don't know what the order was, but he went to those countries, and overall, they were good. They were fine. You know what I mean? They were not bad. There was some cool stuff that happened in each of those countries. I think Eswatini was super traditional. So he was like, very like plugged into the traditional nature of Africa and all of that. And then Botswana, he was literally, I think he went to the Okavango Delta and he was in the wild playing with animals and all of that. So, there was cool stuff that happened in each country. But what everyone was saying is like, what is he going to do when he comes to Zim? Theoretically, yes, you could go see animals, but he's already done that. You can't tell me there's a better Kasi vibe or streets vibe than he would have had in Joburg. You can't tell me that he can go to any upmarket place that would have been equivalent to Cape Town. So, and as you know, Zimbabweans, sometimes we're very self-hating. So we were ready for some disappointments. But he came to Zim and his itinerary started off shaky. I watched that stream. I was supposed to be working. And I watched that. I put that stream on as a background thing while I was working. I think within 30 minutes, that was my main focus. I was now working as a side, which is where I have to give him props because he draws you in, man. It's like entertaining. And I think it makes a difference when you recognize where he's at. So I joined when he was at Joina City. Not Joina, he was in town. He had just finished the Muyananda statue. I was like, are you serious? You guys took him to see a statue in town. A small statue that's not even that big a deal. I missed that, thankfully, because I think that might have chewed me out. Then,
Dan, why are you embarrassed by
car.
traditional beliefs, Dan? Why are you embarrassed by that? Let's
Phil,
embrace
they
it.
get in the car. They sit in the car for a good 40 minutes. Okay, thankfully they stop at KFC along the way. Fine, they get some food. So at least there was some stuff that happened there, which was a little bit entertaining. But otherwise, they're sitting in the car. Poor Chief Ben is struggling, right? And I've said this before on this podcast. There's a huge difference between being a skit comedian and being an in real life comedian. I know this is not an in real life comedian situation.
Just being able to carry a conversation in a non-scripted environment. It takes a lot of work.
Skit comedians are skilled. It takes a lot of skill to be able to consistently get views and laughs and make things funny and all of that. But it's a completely different skill to carrying a conversation or carrying a live stream. I think it's very rare that you'll have crossover. A good skit comedian is very rarely a good live person, right? I think there's some rare exceptions like Drewski and them. But in general, you're not going to do well live if you're a good skit comedian. And you're also not going to do well skits if you're good live. So anyway, poor Chief Ben was struggling to carry the conversation. You can just see that he's trying to insert like things into the con, and it just wasn't working. Anyway, they go to Itrabablas. What? What? Why?
Need to insert that clip of El Gringo here.
Why? Why would you do?
Where's that El Gringo clip? That thing killed me.
You have a young 20-year-old. No, he was 20, right? He's 20-year-old YouTube streamer coming from America to visit Zim. You're like, yeah, let's take him to Trabablas. Are you kidding me? What? Anyway, thankfully, at Trabablas, they were able to do the pull the car challenge, which at least that got featured on his social media platforms. So cool. I mean, that's a cool little thing. And shout out to I think her name's Chipo, right? We featured her on the podcast. And then from there, they went to Mbare Arts Center. I think being in Mbare that's dope that they did that, because now you're like in the streets. That's what makes these live streams fun. It's not necessarily the things you see. It's the people. He's interacting with the people, and that's dope. And I mean, I don't care about all the controversies about, hey, Miss Universe. Shout out Lashonda. I actually don't blame her. I think she was put in a weird situation. And everyone always knows wherever Speed goes somewhere, it always happens that the local celebrities or the local influencers get aired. It's like a thing. People expect it.
Civ is still...
So I don't even care that much about it. But Mbare was a vibe as expected. Look, Mbare is Mbare. It is what it is. You can't make it seem like it's some clean, everyone is living well. But it's a vibe. That's a good thing about it. And then, of course, shout out to Mudiwa Jani, aka Superstar Jani, who came through, and he had the right energy for a stream. He's a funny dude. He's cracking jokes. He's got high energy. He's going band for band with the youthful sort of antics of iShowSpeed. By the way, Mudiwa Jani is 25. Mm-hmm. So it must be funny, because he's like 5 years older than Speed Watcher. So, but you gotta maintain the Gen Z energy. Mm. And I think ultimately that now became an entertaining stream. Now there's someone who he's bouncing off of. There's someone he's interacting with. There's jokes. They're trying out pranks. He's having conversations about him and his girlfriends and it's a thing, So shout out to Mudiwa Jani. So my worry is, if it wasn't just for Mudiwa Jani showing up, that would have been disastrous.
We don't know.
No, Phil, come on.
Anyway, King 98 was also there. Let's not lie. King 98 was there. King 98, he actually could have held it down.
And the few scenes that he was in, he was cool as well. But I don't think he would have clicked with Speed as Mudiwa Jani did. Maybe, who knows? Didn't you want to go to Queen of Arts, Phil?
No.
Let's go save the stream, Phil. Let's go save the stream.
That I'm in advanced stages of balding. Okay.
I won't lie. I did in that moment. I did say, you know what? I get streaming now. I would not consider myself in it now. It's not like I consume streaming, but I get it.
No,
I get it. I think it's entertaining. It's a parasocial relationship.
There was a part where a bit of Schadenfreude, for the reasons we had discussed, was kicking in. I was like, sure, they match. But then I was like, actually, you know, I hope things pick up. Because ultimately, it wouldn't have benefited anyone. You know what I mean? Because what was done. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Also, like I know the people who are behind the entire itinerary, and I had a conversation with them, and I heard some of what was going on behind the scenes, and I was like, yo, actually, the fact that we even managed to have that stream go the way it did is low-key, it's like a miracle. And there were some people that felt snubbed, and let's just say there are still repercussions ongoing. But overall, we were saved by having one dude. And that's the thing about Zim, Phil. It's so full of interesting people who just don't have the platform. Mm-hmm. We have the Mudiwa Johnny. We have people who are exciting, who are funny, Chief Ben himself is a funny dude, just in the right platform. So, and he's found his social media space, right? It's a pipe dream, but I wish we had a thriving creative industry where you could have people who are good in each of these spaces, because we have them. We have so many of them, and it keeps happening. It happens. I've seen it so much where I think it's pointless to compare countries, because, you know, there's funny people and cool people in every country. But for some reason, it just feels like Zim has a ton of super creative, interesting people. And I see that happen over and over again. So anyway, Superstar Johnny Wacho is not even based in Zim because of the Zim situation. Otherwise, we would have been having him and other people like him building the streaming culture here.
Superstar Johnny was in Zimbabwe and lived in Zimbabwe. Right now, he'd be working at Deloitte doing his articles.
That's even hopeful. What percentage of Zimbabweans are there? You don't think he'd be driving InDrive?
Don't take me down so...
I mean, no shade. I just
no. It's
like
not even,
I've ordered InDrives, and I'm like, yo,
it's not.
You should be.
It's not even shade. So I think you started on the same thing. So I've had a small issue with my engine, right? So over the holidays, the mechanic was fixing it. So I've been moving out and about with InDrives when I wasn't using a family member's car, and you come across these interesting conversations, because I think. The other thing is a lot of InDrive drivers have kind of figured that this trip is kind of like a job interview of sorts. So there are guys that do weird things where I think they don't realize it's weird, but I think in their minds they're like, I'm doing something. So I once called an InDrive. Guy calls us. So normally they call you, right? And be like, yo, is this address correct? Cool, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Bet. Homie used Truecaller to get my name. While he's coming to pick me up, he gets my name, Googles me, and now has a dossier on me.
Okay.
So now he comes to pick me up, and he's like, Phil Chat, you do podcasting, right?
It's like, you
are into entertainment and music. I'm like, yeah. How do you know that? Like, well, you know, I'm a computer programmer, so I've designed this CRM tool that does this. But also, like, he's trying to use fancy words. I'm like, my God, what do you do? You use Truecaller to get my name, and you Googled me. I mean. But I've had conversations with people like that. I've had conversations with guys who've done their masters. I've had conversations with, like, I once hopped into an InDrive, and this dude looked very tired, but he had like a bunch of books on the passenger seat. I'm like, yo, my man's supposed to put all these books. He's like, oh no, I've got exams. I'm finishing my masters. And he was doing it in computer science. And in my back of my mind, I'm just like, yeah, this is what. There's one dude I caught a lift with. He's got I won't mention his name. He's got a full-time job as the head of logistics at a blue chip company. And he had just imported a brand new, it was a Peugeot. Nice car, but I was already like, my guy, Peugeots aren't good cars for.
I mean, if it's a Peugeot.
No, but it was not. It was brand new. There was another guy with a brand new Volkswagen. Well, not a brand new, but he had like a Volkswagen R6, and he was in driving. Talking to these guys, they're like, yeah, no, I've got a full-time job. I just do this to make extra money on the side because the bills aren't balancing, this, that, and the third. And I'm in this Volkswagen. I'm like, my guy, this is a nice, you've got leather seats, you've got navigation, you've got Apple Auto playing, you know what I mean? Like, are you sure you want strangers sitting in your seats all day? But all that to say, it is kind of heartbreaking how many educated, even sometimes gainfully employed people are having to take on a second, third job just to make things connect.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're taking these massive trips. Like, InDrive is very reasonable. Like, I'm taking 5, 6, the really long trips at $10. Like, run.
This is what scrambled my brain. Okay, so what used to be a work to home trip used to cost me $15, which I thought was expensive because I thought it's not that far. Now it costs $4. $4. I'm like, yo, I even feel bad. You know, when you're searching for a driver, I'll add $1 or $2 on top. Like, I can't pay $4 for this, bro. That's like surely the fuel just for this drive alone is roughly $4. And every time I speak to an InDrive driver, I'm always like, how is it? He's like, yeah, no, it's all right. You know, end of the month, you know, I'm holding maybe $200 or so. But then I don't have to, you know, that's not counting maintenance of the car and stuff like that. But at least, you know, I have something. Like, yo, the guys who are like super serious about it will maybe hold $300 or $400. And that's if you're driving the whole day. I was like, yo, I suppose that's what salaries people are earning. There's a middle management person right now who's earning $400 and he doesn't have the flexibility of someone who works for himself on InDrive. And that's just insane to me. It's just insane. Anyway, that's late stage capitalism,
exactly.
I guess.
And then as we reflect, we got to remember one thing. We are here.
Going back to this iShow Speed thing real quick. So shout out to Mudiwa Jani. I thought it was very funny how he did. And so I followed his YouTube and I followed his social media and I've now been watching him. He's started streaming now. And he's doing okay. You know, he's getting like 10,000 views per stream and stuff, which is still obviously very low. But if he hadn't linked up with iShow Speed, he would have been, you know, he would have been looking at hundreds. So he's really gotten this sort of like boost. And I can't watch the whole thing. It's like I said, I haven't really gotten into streaming, but he's entertaining, you know, he's doing his thing. The difference is Speed was gaming. And I need to tell Johnny, if I get a chance to speak to him, then listen, bro, you can't just go 3 or 4 hours talking to chat. Do something, be gaming or, you know, do something. So in the most recent one, I think I haven't watched it yet, but I saw in the thumbnail, it looks like he's sitting with someone else. So maybe it will be more interesting. I don't know. But shout out to him for actually doing something. Superstar Johnny. His social media is also popping off. He's getting like millions of views for all his posts. And for some reason, well, I know for what reason, but he's huge in Ethiopia.
Fasika.
The way he saved the Zim stream, he also saved the Ethiopian stream.
You know what? People were cracking jokes about Ben's English bundles. But at least he had a positive balance to start the day. Others were, yo.
And the thing is, I get it. It's Africa. We don't need to know English. We know African in this country that is Africa. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't just, the thing is, like, he got sick in Ethiopia, right? Mm-hmm. So he had to, like, he went and got the bubble guts and was like out of commission for a good 15 minutes. And he literally handed the stream over to Johnny. Mm-hmm. And it went smooth. It was good. It even gained viewers. Mm. Shout out to him. And he did this whole, and like a lot of the people in Ethiopia, they felt really drawn, at least from the comments I've seen, to him because he was roping in Ethiopian Speed, who seemed like he can't speak English well and he kept feeling left out. So he kept like roping him in. It was dope, man. Shout out. And anyway, Johnny, the other thing is you're doing a lot of Ethiopian content now. And I know why. It's because you're getting a lot of views. But remember where you're from, brother. Remember, buddy. Remember where you're from, buddy. Anyway, interesting times. What I can say is I found it fascinating how it's very rare that there's one topic of conversation across all platforms, all people, all groups, all.
Yeah.
And
it hadn't been like that since damn near like Comedy Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Where the whole of Twitter was just like, yo, we're talking about this.
The whole of Twitter, I switch over to Instagram, it's all talking about speed. I switch over to TikTok, everyone's making TikToks about speed. And I promise you, if you look at anyone's like feed or their timeline, it's going to be all their biggest or most viewed videos are the ones where they're talking about speed. Speed came to my country, speed came to Zim and da-da-da-da. I was tweeting about it. I was watching the live stream and I was tweeting stuff and I was getting 300,000 views on a tweet. I was like, wait, I don't get this normal tweets. What the heck? So,
but I guess what we
times.
can agree on, Dan, is that right now we are here.
Zimbabwe. Let's talk about the 68th Grammy
Are we playing
Awards.
the freestyle? We should play the rhythm.
Do you want to? I mean,
I should call Spirit and be like, Spirit, how far?
I called Spirit. I was like, dude, bring it exclusive on radio. He's like, are you serious? I was like, bring it. And he took it anyway. People were interested, shall we say. I wonder what the legal ramifications are, because Speed, isn't he signed?
I don't know.
Doesn't he do music for a label?
Does he?
I think so, because he released some songs under something, but I don't know all the details. So I wonder if he does a verse.
There really wouldn't be. So you can do a verse. It can't be released commercially. You have to get it cleared first. So as long as the song isn't released for commercial exploitation, you're fine, because you can record songs until you're blue in the face.
Well, I mean, obviously, they're not gonna Spirit levels, as they call themselves, are obviously gonna want to release it commercially. Anyway,
I think the moment is past. If they haven't released it now, there's already a reason why. They probably got a phone call like, nah, guys, that was that.
Probably. Speaking of which, there was actually, okay, no, maybe it's just being a bit negative. I was just going to talk about the general vibe in Bari then at the studios. Let's just keep it at a positive. It was a fun vibe. Okay.
Zigure included.
When I was a youth, I somehow missed the whole Zigure. I was never in a situation where I was exposed to Zigure. This is something that I only knew as an adult.
You've lived
a lot
a very
of people's
sheltered life.
mythical relationship to Zigure, I don't have it.
You've lived a very sheltered life, then. I'm from Muntare. We are familiar with these issues.
Yes, we did. Anyway, now to the Grammys. The Grammys happened this past week. The 1st of February was the 68th Grammy Awards. We've already hinted at it because Tyler won and Fela Kuti. Yeah, come through. Please feel free. This is not a studio. I'm the one who's squatting in this space. Anyway, 68 Grammy Awards. Let me quickly shout out some of the big winners. Album of the year went to Bad Bunny. Record of the year went to Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Song of the year went to Wildflower by Billie Eilish and Phineas. There's a controversy there. Best new artist was Olivia Dean. Do you like Olivia Dean, Phil?
Yeah, I like the album.
I love Olivia. Yo, can be the man I need. Like, yo, it feels like I'm listening to, it's pop music, but it feels like I'm listening to like a classical, I don't know, like a Amy Winehouse or something. I like Olivia Dean. Shout out to Olivia Dean for Best New Artist. I don't understand the hate that's being thrown in her direction online. Anyway, those are the big four. Trevor Noah was the host. It was his final year hosting. I think he's hosted it 6 times, and he made a big deal of the fact that it was his final year, so he was going to be more unfiltered than usual. What did you watch the Grammys, Phil?
Actually, yeah. I haven't finished them. I'm still watching them right now. So I was trying to finish them before this recording, but then something came up. So I'm as far as the Ozzy Osbourne tribute. I've gotten to the D'Angelo tribute. So I just stopped it as the D'Angelo tribute was kicking off.
Fair enough. I haven't watched it. I've just seen multiple clips and highlights and whatever.
Oh, clips. I see what you did there.
Unintentional, I assure you. No one was robbed. So I'll highlight a couple of things. So first of all, we've been speaking about predictive markets for a while now on this podcast. In fact, I would venture to say that we were the first Zimbabwean podcast to point a spotlight over this new phenomenon, predictive markets. If you need a quick refresher, sports betting, but on everything. Polymarket and Kalshi are the two big companies globally, valued at billions of dollars, and they basically created these platforms where you can place a bet on anything, period. As long as there's someone willing to place a bet on it, it's available there on Polymarket. So it could be, in fact, one of the trending bets right now is Jesus going to come in 2026? 4% odds.
Okay, and this is what I don't get. If he does actually arrive, where's the payout happening?
That's what people are saying. They're saying it's a win-win. If he does come, then, you don't need the money anyway. Uh-huh. If he doesn't, you win. No, but it's only 4%. So people are saying...
If you bet the negative and he does arrive and he's like, oh, okay. Now you're cursed to damnation. 1,000 years of tribulation are now yours. Thank you.
Betting doesn't mean I believe this. It just means I'm playing the odds.
Okay. Good luck explaining that to someone who died for your sins.
One of the gags. In fact, let me see if I can find it and play it live. Right? Tell me if you can hear it. I'm starting again.
Potato. I saw the TikTok about
this. Potato. If you had me saying potato on Polymarket, you just made a ton of money. So congratulations, Noah_22, whoever that is.
So, okay. Oopsie. Sorry. So, first of all, this is clearly a joke, guys. Some people were going so crazy about it, but shall we call it an Easter egg that many people didn't pick up? The winner that he called when he was like, oh, congratulations to Noah22. He's implying that he made a bet on himself and then won money on it.
You know what? I saw this TikTok before, but I did see someone post it. They could have edited it, obviously, where they were placing a bet on Polymarket for this.
Oopsie.
Friend is a dream.
Sorry, give me a second. I'm loading it up here. Potato. Anyway, but yes. So
okay,
I
let me tell you.
I don't know if it's real. I hate that TikTok just auto plays. Like, why? What is my history?
You'll start revealing what your algorithm is showing you.
Anyway,
Phil.
continue to talk while I look for this tiki-toki.
Okay, sure. Anyway, so that was a gag that I just thought I would highlight. And look, it's such a ridiculous thing. Predictive markets are insane. I cannot believe this is legal. I cannot. Look, what I can say is 5 years from now, there's going to be some insane Netflix documentaries that are explaining this whole phenomenon, and there's going to be people in jail. That's all I can say. Either that or society will collapse because this is just ridiculous.
This is a clear sign of a collapsing society. There's no way a society can continue like this. This is wild. What Polymarket is doing is insane. What Kalshi are doing is insane.
And the thing is, the founders, I think, I can't remember which one it was, Kalshi or Polymarket. One of the founders is like some young lady attractive young lady that, and she's put forward as this like amazing self-made billionaire because she like, yo, this is like the mafia, yo, what the heck? Anyway, there was another moment. Have you found what you were looking for? Okay, we can move on, Phil. I think the moment has passed. Sure. The moment has passed. It's like speed in Zimbabwe. There was another moment where Trevor was speaking to Kendrick. Take a listen.
Also, welcome back to the most nominated artist of the year, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, everybody. That's right. 9 nominations this year. Congratulations. And that is all I'm going to say. Congratulations. I actually thought about writing a few jokes, roasting you, but then I remembered what you can do to light-skinned dudes from other countries. Yeah, me and my delegation are still recovering from the pain, so...
So what do you think? Good joke or not?
It's a very typical Trevor Noah, Dennis Dube Shire joke.
Haters. I did think it was a bit low hanging fruit. Like this, you could have taken it in so many directions. You know, you could have done a lot.
Yeah.
It was like, I would have roasted you, but then you would have dissed me.
I mean,
like you could have, you know.
it's kind of a outdated joke. It's weird because Trevor had some good jokes, and then he also had some shy jokes, which is a typical Trevor Noah performance. And I think maybe like older white people, because also we got to remember, the majority audience are older white people. So they probably were like, oh, that's kind of funny. I get it. But I really enjoyed like the back and forth he had with Bad Bunny. That was entertaining. I actually enjoyed that.
Was it? Did Bad Bunny? I saw that clip. Wasn't Bad Bunny like a little bit annoyed?
Nah.
The whole story, the whole thing about America. Can you take me to Puerto Rico?
No, that was clearly scripted.
Scripted. Yeah.
But
I thought so as well. But
they ran it through 2 ad segments, so it was essentially 3 segments. So the first was, Benny, take me to Puerto Rico. Then the second one was, yo, can you please perform? He's like, no, I can't perform because I'm at the Super Bowl. I was like, oh yeah, the contractually can't perform. And then Trevor started like saying what he wanted to do, which is the translation of DTMF. And then the next segment, Trevor now really doubles down, tries to get him to sing, starts singing so that he can convince Benny to sing. He sings, then the mariachi band comes out and he's like, cool, I'm done, bye. And the funniest part, if you watch it like the full thing, you see like Scissors like right behind them at her table. The moment the band comes out, Scissors like, and she gets up and she just stands to the side.
okay, I'll watch it actually. I always enjoy watching the Grammys, come to think of it. Okay, next gag that I have one more. The other one was about Trump, but meh. This one is somewhat about Trump. It's Trevor Noah on Nicki Minaj.
Oh man, every single person here, John Legend, Billie Eilish, Phineas, Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nikki. I know they say it's you, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it, baby.
Now, in the background of this video is John Legend and his wife. What's his wife's name again? The name just escaped me.
Chrissy
Teigen. And you know she's doing white people gang signs. Anyway, this led to a insane crash out by Nicki and
once again,
Don.
That's a run of the mill crash out from Nicki. Because Dan, I repeat once again, with regards to Nicki Minaj and her current online ramblings, we are here.
This is my question. This is my question that I have, and I know we have fans of Nicki Minaj who listen to this podcast. I want to know: are you still a fan? Do you still stan her? Are you defending her? Are you able to explain her current crash out situation? Or,
There's no
like me, are you able to say, listen, I can still enjoy her music. I know she's doing this because she's trying to get a pardon for her husband or trying to
she
get
can't. Legally, that's
whatever
impossible.
it is.
Legally, you
Phil,
can't get pardoned.
how many legally that is impossible things have happened in the past year?
No. So the inverse has happened, where it's you can't do that. As in, we will. There are mechanisms, quote unquote, to stop you, and then those mechanisms are whispered away. This is an affirmative where you've got to somehow expunge a record that cannot be expunged that way. And also,
Phil,
Dan,
did she not receive that Trump gold gold visa
within
whatever
24
it is?
hours the White House came out and said, yo, that was just a memento. That's not even a real thing. Did you miss that part?
I missed that. I didn't see that.
They came out and said that ain't a real thing.
Yo, this really is the darkest timeline. What the heck? Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about celebrity crash outs in a bit. Let me just continue talking about some of the big stories from the Grammys. Of course, we like to pay attention to the Africans at the Grammys. So we've already mentioned that Tyler won Best African Music Performance against Davido, Ira Star, and I think Burna Boy was in there as well. Yeah, Burna Boy. Best.
Are we going to just gloss over the Nigerian crash out to this thing? And how they were like, yo, LA is using us to boost their GDP and get Nigerians to come to LA. Man, the Grammys don't love Nigeria. This is xenophobic.
I don't understand. Like, you guys, no one did as well as Tyler. I don't understand.
No,
what's the problem?
With everyone else from any other country or any logical person, even in Nigeria, was like, this makes a lot of sense. But I think there's a level of entitlement. There's obviously a great level of investment that Davido and his fan base had in winning this Grammy, and they thought this was their best opportunity, which was a fair thing. Davido had been doing a lot of stuff, much like the clips, playing the game, making sure he was involved in the Grammy process. So it looked like he was a shoo-in. There were even tweets from people from inside his camp saying, yo, we got inside word that we've won. Yo, OBO family, we did it. And then this happened. So, and obviously, they feel they have an ownership to Afro beats /
African music, Afro
pop,
beats.
blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot, I think that it's a confluence of a lot of things. And, Abegistan.
Yeah. Okay, I saw some people. Do you think there's any credence to this claim? Some people were saying the thing is Tyler should have been in the pop categories with Sabrina Carpenter and them.
Okay, what's the category she was nominated in, Dan? Please read the category name again.
Best African music performance.
So she could be in that category. It would not negate her being in this category as well. Dum-dums.
I mean, some people are saying the music she's making is pop music, not African music.
She's still an African. She's still an African performing. So it would still fall under this subcategory, and then she'd graduate to the main category. She would be nominated in both categories. It's the same way an artist nominated in Best New Artist can also be nominated in Song or Album of the Year. One doesn't negate the other.
I agree. I don't get it. To me, it was like, even when I saw her nominated, I was like, she's obviously going to win. She's had the best year out of everyone in there.
So but
anyway.
This goes back to, and this is, the funny thing is, part of me really wants to get back into writing because these are the things I used to have aneurysms about when I was writing. And I used to be like, when the Grammys first introduced this category, I was still blogging and I said, this is a horrible thing for African music because they are bunching African music with world music, and there are so many subgenres in African music alone that deserve to be given their own light. And at that time, back then, this was even before Come Closer, I was like, Wizkid makes pop music. At very most, it's Afro pop. He should not be nominated with Stone Boy because those are two different genres of music. Stop reducing African music to one flat genre. This is the result of that. So if Nigerians are genuinely upset, and they have every right to be, what they should do is go back and be like, yo, can we stop having these reductive genre classifications and allow it to think? And the other, to push back on your argument, which I'd forgotten, is last year, the winner of this very award, a very voluptuous woman by the name of Thames, great voice. Dave, I hate you, by the way. I hate you so much, Dave. Anyway, Thames was also nominated in Best R&B and in Best African Performance because they already do this. However, as much as I love Tyler, and Tyler's had an amazing year, if Tyler were to go up against Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish, Cat's Eye, she will get mollywopped.
I mean, I agree. Honestly, to me, it's a huge nothing burger, as the kids say. She's best African. She's African. She's primarily based in Africa. Of course, she's spending a lot of time touring the world in America and whatever. But we know her from the streets of Joburg. What the heck?
That's
It's
right.
African performing music,
Exactly.
and also the fact that the Grammys are trying to go global, there's no perfect way of handling it. Even what you're describing, Phil, is just not possible because then you'd have to do the same for every continent. And not only that, there's no way to fix it. Honestly,
Honestly, I think you can do the very country. I think we kind of reduce problems that can easily be solved to, or rather we complicate something that needs to be solved. Already on Africa, the two Afrima, the different Afrima awards, before they shut down the MTV Awards, even the Channel Music Awards, had already figured this out. It's not rocket science.
No, okay, hear me out. This is what I'm saying. the Grammys are supposed to be, it's different for Afrimas, which is specific to Africa, or the MTV Awards, which is specific to genres, right? The Grammys are supposed to be the umbrella music awards for the whole world. Now, obviously, every culture has a subculture. Every country has its own music culture and all of that. And I don't think there's a perfect way to solve all those problems. Maybe we don't have the perfect solution or the best solution now. Maybe you could improve on it, but I think it would create other problems. So, for example, if we say, let's look at Africa, for example. I agree with you. It makes no sense to put Tyler in the same category as Angelique Kidjo. That's just, it doesn't make sense. They make completely different music for different audiences. How would you possibly put them against each other? Okay, so maybe there needs to be African pop, African contemporary, African hip hop, African whatever, right? Okay, that would still end up with people in different genres, which would not seem to make sense. So let's say we do African pop. Does that mean we would put Tyler in the same category as, Francophone pop? Or would it be in the same category as Arabic pop that's coming through from Algeria and whatever?
Yes, that's a simple solve.
Okay. Those are so, like, putting them next to each other is so difficult, but maybe it's better than what it is now.
It is.
Okay.
I get where.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry, yeah.
Hang on. If we are going to do that, then essentially it means we would want to break down the subgenres or the subcultures in everything that's outside. Even the way it is right now, it works with the assumption that America is the default and everything else is outside.
So,
but
Dan,
what about Asian? What about South American?
You yourself are actually overcomplicating something that's already been solved for. The Latin Grammys already exist. The Grammys have already done this in Latin America. They've done.
So we need to have the African Grammys and the
not even that. You just need to have a board that can adjudicate based on genres. We already have these genres already predefined. When you upload your music, there's only a finite amount of genres you can select for your metadata. You just take those genres and you classify them. Amapiano would fall under house, contemporary house music. I have no problem with that. I don't think Amapiano acts would have a problem with that, right? And then you have a big Amapiano act going up against a big three-step act, which does not beggar the mind. You know what I mean? That is not a far removed concept. So you could then have Francis Mercer, who's from Morocco, going up against Night Freak, going up against Darky, going up against Shimza, going up against Tuxin. That is not far removed. For pop, you could have the same thing where Tyler is going up against, I'm spacing on this woman.
Ira Star.
This woman from Egypt that does insane numbers in Middle East and Northern Africa. That to me that's not far removed. Then you can have Afro fusion or Afro dancehall, whatever that may be, and then you can have Stone Boy going up against Burner, going up against Red Sun, going up against Winky D, etc. I think a lot of these issues have been addressed already. It's
okay. So you see what you're describing African dancehall. We don't even like. Caribbean music as a whole is not like striated in that way as well. It's not like we don't have the sub genres and sub breakups in the Grammys before you even come to African dancehall. You say the Latin Grammys exist. There's Latin doesn't even refer to the whole of South America. Do you know what I mean? So my point is, there's no perfect solve. And
no, what I'm saying is, you're right. There is no perfect solve, and by and default, that makes sense because the Americans are only going to solve what they care about or what's financially beneficial to them. What I am saying is, for us to put something forward, for us to say, hey, these are what categories mean. There obviously has to be financial incentive or financial reasoning behind it. And that could also be Nigerians, South Africans, whoever else may be in the mix, looking inward and saying, okay, guys, let's understand what the Grammys are and being pragmatic. And some people get it. Like, these Grammys are just to sell us to America, right? So America's not going to be incentivized, nor will they care to get it right up until we reach a certain financial threshold. Let's look inward and make sure our internal award shows give us the recognition and honor that the best of our best deserve. So does that mean we're putting all our eggs in the Afrima basket? Or does that mean we're starting a new platform? Does that mean we're all going to the headies or whatever that may be? That is one way to look at it. And I'll be more than happy to. But what I am pushing against is in the halls of the Grammy board, by benefit, especially as a second order impact, because we have more African artists nominated, that means we have more Grammy voters, which means their voices can be heard, which means they should be lobbying in the quiet halls of power to say, yo, can we please have a little line of demarcation here? It doesn't have to be main show awards. It doesn't even have to be linked to the actual Grammys, but can we have some form of recognition for these other genres? Because we don't want to flatten the contemporary African music and sound into one thing.
I agree with that. I think the step one is to have, we don't have to make the Grammys do it for us. Let's have the African, or whether it's the Afrimas or whoever it is who actually knows what they're doing, put together a really dope African award ceremony. And I think there's room for it. I feel like the Afrimas and so on, they're sort of kind of there, but not quite. If someone, hint, feels it could be us, start the African Music Awards, proper awards that, are able to build up this level of clout and integrity and all of that. I think it would be a huge step into helping the world understand, and then selling the music to them and, filling that financial incentive that you're talking about.
That's actually something I'm actively working on. Granted, it's going to be a few years down the line, but there's something I'm working on with regards to this, like empowering African artists, empowering Zimbabwean artists and creatives. Hopefully it should be launched very, very soon. It's been keeping me awake for multiple months. But yeah, there's something like that I've been working on. It's been something I've been thinking of for quite some time.
Sharp. Well, consider this foreshadowing. Okay. What was I talking? We're talking about the Grammy Awards. Oh yeah. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. He won 5 Grammys, which has taken him to a total of 27 Grammy wins. He's now the most awarded.
He robbed. Clips were robbed, I tell
you. Most awarded rapper in Grammy history with 27 total Grammy awards, surpassing Jay-Z, who's had a rough week, shall we say.
Why did he have a rough week?
His name is just caught up in bad news.
I actually wanted to discuss that. I'm actually very grateful that our Patreon...
Okay, wait, we'll discuss it. Let
me just say, I'm very grateful that our Patreon group can read, because I was hoping none of them would bring it up. I mean, none of them did, because they read.
No, I don't think it's as straightforward as that, but we'll get into it. But yeah, so Kendrick Lamar won Record of the Year, as I mentioned already, with Luther. He won Best Rap Album with GNX, which some people said, Clips were robbed. Look, the Clips had an amazing album, but I was listening to GNX the other day. That's such a good album.
I was even remembering like my initial thoughts when it first came out. I love GNX the album more than Let God Sort 'Em Out. I love the story behind Let God Sort 'Em Out more. And I think that romanticism that we as humans have to the narrative was also kind of pushing us towards, because ultimately when you think about it, like if you're a fan of both artists, you're not mad that GNX won.
You're eating.
Because you're like, okay, I get it. But just like, I just wanted Clips to win because it'll be a great ending to a great story. Which is, these guys haven't made an album in 20 years. They come back, they do everything, and then they win.
Let's put it this way. GNX winning, I'm not mad. Let God Sort 'Em Out winning, also not mad. I wouldn't, like, if Let God Sort 'Em Out had won, I wouldn't be like, nah, GNX should have won. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. If GNX had won, I'm also like, now, I'm not saying, Let God Sort 'Em Out should have won. I was like, no, actually makes sense. Both phenomenal albums. Kendrick also won Best Rap Song for TV Off. Turn the TV off.
That was interesting. That was interesting.
Why?
I didn't think it was the strongest one in that category. And also, shout out to Lefty Gunplay for winning, for saying 4 words.
I wonder if they had to. If
crazy,
there's a lot of places
scary,
that it has
spooky,
to be censored.
Hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
Best melodic rap performance also went to Luther.
Well
Best
deserved.
rap performance went to
That was well deserved.
Chains and Whips, Clips featuring Kendrick Lamar. So yeah.
Wait, I'm just trying to pull up the other songs that were nominated because I remember thinking about this. But yeah, go through the winners and I'm going to come back to this one.
Okay. While you're counting them, in the R&B category, best R&B album went to Mutt by Leon Thomas. Best R&B performance,
I'm a mutt.
Folded by Kehlani. Best progressive R&B album, Bloom by Durand Burner. I don't know who that is.
Yes. Now I remember. So I'm looking at this. So Sticky was really good, but that was weirdly enough, technically. Well, no, it was actually in Chromacopia. Sorry, I was going to say. But yeah, Tyler having 2 albums nominated was insane. But Anxiety was an incredible song.
Okay, wait. You know I love Doechii.
Mm-hmm.
And when Anxiety first came out, I was like, hey, cool. But I won't lie. After a while, it got a bit annoying.
Was it giving you anxiety?
Anxiety and keep on watching me. I liked it at first, but after a while it got a bit annoying, I will say. And I love Doechii. What's happened to her actually? She's been quiet for a bit. Has she put out music?
She's been touring.
Have I missed her music?
She's been touring.
Okay, and what were the other ones nominated?
Birds Don't Sing, which I think also could have reserved. Sticky, and then TGIF. The fact that Glorilla
is that
this is best rap song.
Is best rap performance?
Best rap song.
Okay. Best rap song. Okay, got you. Okay.
I also feel bad for Glorilla. Like she really had an amazing year, and she didn't get it.
The only one I think Glorilla's song is the only one that I would have said can be potentially.
I know TGIF was a
TV
bang.
off.
But I think the confluence of TV off, the ad campaigns that were behind it, and the Super Bowl really pushed a TV off over the edge.
Plus, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody handed him a Grammy right now.
But fact. I mean, Drake says a lot of marara from time to time, but that was actually a really good line. That was funny. The thing is, like, he had so many good low-hanging fruits that he could have picked from in that beef, and he chose poorly a lot.
Hey, let's not go down that road.
But yeah.
And best traditional R&B performance went to Leon Thomas's performance of Mutt from Tiny Desk.
Love that.
I mentioned controversy about Billie Eilish. She won a Grammy for Wildflower.
Yeah, bro.
Thing is, Wildflower is a 2024 song. She won Song of the Year. And some people were like, this doesn't make sense because...
No, it actually does. According to the rules. Because this is the same thing that has allowed albums that are 2 years old to win. It's also allowed best new artists that are not new artists. Sorry, I'm using air quotes for those listening in audio. To be nominated in that category. So this is a great example of sometimes you use the rules to your benefit.
Yeah, but it leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Fine, but
dude, if you find a loophole, exploit it. If they want to close it, they must close the loophole, and they can get more inventive or more direct with their wording. But if there's a loophole, you must exploit it.
So Wildflower was really. Actually, I was just going to check the dates quickly. When I say 2024, it was released in May 2024.
Once again, those are the rules. If there's a loophole, it's not on the artist to fix the loophole.
2-year-old song, Anyway,
Once again,
I also don't care that much.
If you're operating within the rules, and those are the rules as designed, it is what it is.
Then, of course, Billie Eilish then went on the platform and said, no one is illegal on stolen land.
Right. And then people were like, no, we're going to come to your house.
Then everyone started, I mean, I am pro that. It's just, I found it funny that afterwards people are like, wait, aren't there like Native Americans who are complaining that your land is built on, your house is built on land that they are trying to fight back, or so, I don't know, some weird story like that. And I was like, shame, man.
But also, I've been finding the discourse online. This is in general, a lot of things. And it's also why I've really tried to pull back on, especially X. Because in real time, I'm actually seeing the bot engagement. So I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of these really rage baity accounts.
Yes.
Have been glitching the past few days.
Is it?
Or people have figured out master prompts, and they'll just test the waters and just see, okay, like what vulnerabilities are there. Or they'll send like a master prompt and be like, hey, just respond with this. And then they'll respond. And they'll be like, okay, yeah, I knew your bot. Cool.
I mean, it's so obvious. It's so. What were the estimates? Weren't there some estimates that like 60% of all traffic on X is bots?
The one that killed me is because obviously like one of the key search terms has been FICE, right? Referring to the organization. Someone wrote a tweet having a rant about slipping on actual ice because there's been a snowstorm in America. So it was like FICE.
Yeah.
And then all these accounts started flooding, saying, he reached for the gun first, you idiot.
Yeah. You see, that's how you know some script is running. So actually, I said 60%. Some estimates go as high as 80% of total accounts on X are bots. That's insane. And then traffic is sitting at okay. There was I don't see any estimates here. Even though X says that less than 5% of its users are bots, you're kidding me.
Yo, speaking of Billie Eilish, what happened to Amber Rose?
I don't know what happened.
Oh, here's a breaking news, a new post from Amber Rose on her Instagram. I think we should give Billie Eilish a little more compassion. She's only 24 years old and thinks she's helping. I did that too at that age. I took my father to sit down, be patient, and show me what I was saying, feeling, and believing was actually wrong. I was being lied to and manipulated by the left wing, fake news media. I too was a detriment to society and my slut walk protests. Although we've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to help victims of rape and sexual assault, it eventually turned into something that I was no longer proud of. We all know that there are some amazing, sweet, loving, good-hearted people. They're here illegally, and I don't think anyone is disputing that. But that doesn't change the fact that they are illegal, and they must do right, like the millions of legal immigrants that waited in line. Anyway.
Why are we reading Amber Rose's opinions in 2026? Yeah, anyway. All right, anyway, moving on, Philip, moving on. I guess we have somewhat of a segue there because the next story I have here is about Kanye West. I actually couldn't wait to bring this to the podcast. Okay, so Kanye West took out a full-page advert in the Wall Street Journal to apologize. What? Now, if you recall, Kanye West has been on many people's do not talk, do not refer, do not anything list because, he's been a lot. Well, Kanye West took out this full-page ad, and I won't lie, it was a pretty good apology.
I didn't care. Don't want to read it.
It's something that I've raised on this podcast before, where I say, like, I feel like as society we are very binary in punishment. The idea is good or bad. Either you've been good all your life, or you're. And I know this is just social media and its lack of nuance, but I think also in general, I'm against the idea that no one is beyond redemption. That having been said, Kanye West has gone far. He's gone really far. I would be interested to read his apology. So I read his apology. It's a very long apology. I won't read the whole thing here. But long story short, in this apology, he says, listen, when I had my accident back in 2001, I think, 2002, he says I had physical treatments to my body, but there was a deeper injury inside my skull that was not diagnosed. He says there were no comprehensive scans. At the time, neurological exams were limited and so on. Also, there wasn't enough technology to detect all the things that were wrong. But because of the complications, he developed a bipolar disorder and he acted out because of this. And he was unaware of how much he was acting out. He had all kinds of paranoia and felt like everyone was against him, etc., etc. And in this fractured state, he says he gravitated towards the most destructive symbol he could find, the swastika, and aligned himself with Nazi ideology and so on in this bipolar state. And then he says in early 2025, he fell into a 4-month-long manic episode of psychotic, paranoid, and impulsive behavior that destroyed his life. And then when he came out of that, let me see. I want to read the exact words that he says here. He says he still cannot recall many of his disconnected moments, but it led to poor judgment, reckless behavior. He regrets and is deeply mortified by his actions, and he's committed to accountability, treatment, and meaningful change. It does not excuse what he did. He's not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. He loves Jewish people. To the black community, he is truly sorry to have let you down, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, at the end of it, he says, I'm not asking for sympathy or a free pass, though I aspire to earn your forgiveness. I write today simply to ask your patience and understanding as I find my way home. So, first of all, it was a really well-written apology. But apology, my opinion, we were discussing this in the Patreon group, and I thought, you know what, I'll raise this on the podcast. Because my opinion is, I think that even the person who has done the worst possible thing, there is a road to redemption in society in general. You're not owed any kind of forgiveness, and some people will never forgive you. It is what it is. But for society in general, I think everyone has a chance at redemption. It's not going to come from a single apology, no matter how well written the apology is. So Kanye West has given us a well-written apology that seems to take accountability, seems to give us a plausible reason for why he acted in this way, and a plausible reason for why he didn't listen to people when they were telling him. And it seems to express his desire to work at trying to, make amends. But it's not going to be enough, right? The hurt that he caused. For every hurt, some things, a simple sorry will be enough. For other things, there needs to be a deeper and, more meaningful apology with acknowledgements and so on. For other things, you're not only going to have to apologize, you're going to have to work for a long time before you can regain people's confidence or trust or goodwill. So my position on that when we discussed in the group was, great apology. I sincerely hope that he is being sincere, although I'm pretty sure there's publicists involved and so on. But I sincerely hope he's being sincere. But forgiveness will only come after a lot of work. It's going to take years of concerted effort. And even then, many people will still never forgive you for the things that you've said and the things you've done and the songs that you've put out and all of that. So that's what I think about it. Mm-hmm. You?
Don't care. What's the next topic?
What do you mean by that?
Genuinely, Kanye's done this too many times. I don't trust him. And also, it doesn't help that literally after this apology dropped, he was promoting his new clothing line, the new slippers, and the upcoming album. I was like, I've seen you run this play too many times, yo. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Mm. That's fair. I think many people don't believe it. Even I'm skeptical of it. I if I were to give a percentage to it, I'm like on 20 to 30% believe and 70 to 80% don't believe it. And I think it would take a pattern of actions. Because like the other part of it is like, dude, like you were wild, yo. Like there has to be an explanation for that.
Also, yeah, he's apologizing for those things. What about the apology to Jay-Z once again, and Beyonce, and all the black people that he hurt? Like there's so many. It's just a lot, bro.
I mean, those apologies are none of our business to Jay-Z. For all I know, he's reached out to Jay-Z privately.
Public
and
disrespect
all of that.
is a public apology. Public private.
I agree, but I'm not worried about you disrespected Jay-Z. I'm worried about you disrespected all of us.
That's part of what I'm saying. Like within that, right? As someone myself who also struggles with mental health issues, I take great umbrage with what feels almost like, I don't know if commodification is the right word, but the manipulation and misrepresentation of what it's like to deal with certain mental health issues based on how you navigate the world, right? There are multiple people who deal with several things, and I'm certainly not innocent of this, but there are multiple people navigating life with a litany of mental health issues that don't do the things that you do. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Like the struggle is real. Not taking your meds is a bad move. I get it. Also, being on your meds may flatten you. I get it. But at a certain point, a certain level of accountability has to be taken on here.
Yeah. So what's the route to that accountability?
Change behavior. Not an apology. Change behavior.
Would an apology not be a first step?
Yeah, but it's the first step. We can only assess once you've completed the program. You know what I mean? You can't say, oh, you graduated after one semester. Nah, fam, finish your program. Get on your credits.
So again, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we are in any position right now to imply that everything's cool. You're now forgiven. I don't think anyone thinks that. But I am curious about what is the route. What is the road to redemption? What is it? Because surely you can't tell me that. Let's for a second assume that this is true. Let's say he really was going through this insane bipolar manic episode, and he's dug himself into the depths of this hole. How would you come out of it? What would you do? Well, surely these are the steps you'd have to take, right? Does the road even exist? I have to believe it exists. And there's no one action that will solve everything, obviously.
Peace, love, and blessings to him. I hope he figures it out. That's all I can say. I hope he figures it out.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's move on. There's some, it is award season.
We discussed the Grammys, and we did not discuss Chaperone's risque red carpet outfit.
Wow.
Did you see her pink nipples everywhere?
I don't believe her nipples were visible, Philip.
I mean, actually, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Was that like a prosthetic? Like, what was that? Was that like a prosthetic?
Apparently, there was something. I don't know what it was, but there was something.
Because I was also wondering, like, isn't she cold? Like a breeze, like, you know, like a breeze would lift that dress right up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why would there be a breeze in the Grammys, Phil?
Because you're outdoors.
Why would there be a breeze in the Grammys?
You're outdoors, Dan. You're outdoors.
I did see the dress and I thought it was ridiculous, but you know, there's always going to be someone whose team is telling them that you have to make a splash. You have to make a splash. It's the Grammys. Everyone will be watching. So I guess it was her. Anyway, moving on. I was about to say that it's award season. There's a ton of things that are there to talk about. So, for example, we received nominations for the Oscars. The award ceremony hasn't happened yet. And what we saw was big numbers for Sinners. Ton of nominations for Sinners, so that's good news. Apart from that, I didn't really pay that much attention to anything else.
Actually, I just realized that I wanted to do this for the listeners. I'd actually saved some of the best movies of 2025, and I haven't watched a couple of them. So I think one fun thing to do with the listeners, especially over these next few weekends, is probably watch like a movie. So in the group, when this episode drops in, we'll also raise it. Is maybe putting aside a day and just saying, okay, guys, which movie can we watch today? I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Speaking of which, okay. Well, just before I go further on the Oscars, I finally finished Peacemaker season 2.
Oh wait, did I?
So good.
Did I finish it? I can't remember.
Good.
What happened at the end again? Sorry, just remind me what happened. Spoiler alert! What happened?
Okay, so I mean,
oh yes, I did. I did.
Oh
I did finish it. Sorry, I did watch it. Sorry, I remember now.
Okay,
Cool. He got sent to that place that Bizarro might also be at. Yeah, I remember now. Cool. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a very wild theory. It's not necessarily a given part of the law, but yeah, such a good show, and I think the DCU is currently the most interesting comic book universe. I can't believe Marvel fumbled such a lead. And then I also started watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah.
So
I'm letting it simmer for a bit. I've got trust issues.
I watched it on my flight here. Episode 1, it was good. It was good. You know, it's not on the scale of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. It's not, it's not the warring houses and the king no, it's just like, I mean, spoiler alert, there is some royalty in the story, but you don't know it at first. So I watched episode 1 and it felt very nice and grounded and good acting and good stories. And it got me and I was like, oh, this is nice. I was watching this on the plane. Got on to episode 2. Scene 1. Old man steps out butt naked, full frontal of some shack that he's in, takes a piss and steps back in. I'm just like,
here's something that
my mind.
There's something actually.
My mind was not ready for this.
You actually reminded me of something. So, when I was taking a break earlier this month, it was just after Drewski had dropped that skit on mega church pastors. And one of the common things I kept seeing in the comments was, if black people are upset about this, then they clearly haven't watched or they don't know about Righteous Gemstones. I was like, you guys need to watch Righteous Gemstones because that show's crazy. So
what is that?
So I went to watch that. So basically, have you ever watched Eastbound and Down?
Nope.
Vice Principals?
Nope.
Okay, so basically, there's Danny McBride. I think it was in Talladega Nights. So it's Danny McBride, John Goodman, Adam Devine from Workaholics. Basically, it's about this super rich mega church family. It's kind of like based on it's a hybrid of Joel Osteen and the other guy, the other white church guy. They got a gang of money, and it's like Celebration Center times 1,000. Like they've got like a full stadium.
Allegedly.
They've got like a full stadium that they fill out every Sunday, blah, 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 blah. But this family is wild. Immoral as hell. People are dying. There's fornication. There's drugs. The works. It's crazy. But it's a fun watch. So I'm watching this program. And I'm seeing a lot of penises. And then I'm flashing back to the other HBO films I watch. So Game of Thrones, A Thing of the Dragon, Euphoria. There's also a lot of penises in there. And sometimes it's just gratuitous. Like, you're like, did this scene require a flaccid penis? And I'm starting to wonder, is there a quota that HBO needs to hit?
I don't think you understand. There's no old wrinkly man. There's absolutely no need. There was no need.
That's what I'm saying. The gratuitous penises in HBO programming needs to be investigated. Something is going on.
It was like a full 5-minute scene. And, okay.
This really shook you.
I was on a flight, Phil.
Wait, was this like the first scene?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling.
Literally the first scene of season 2, and I was like, nope. Wait, you know what? It's okay. I'm road dogging this flight.
Of season 2. I mean, episode.
Episode 2 of season. Yeah, of the first season.
It's called what? A Night of Seven Kingdoms.
The Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay, you know, let's do a live. This is a live watch party. Phil has now pulled up the episode on his valid and legitimate HBO Max subscription, where he's now pressing play. And we will see what he means. Okay, just give me a second as it buffers, and then we'll get to it, Danny. Okay. After much consternation, and I think I've now loaded up the program. We're now starting the episode. Let's see what's happening here. We're now open with the fade to black. We're fading in from black. We open on the countryside, very lush countryside with a stone hut. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, whoa, yo! Jesus, yay! Jack, dude, there's no way that's real. There's no way that thing is real! That's a bloody baby's arm! Jesus Christ! Yo, this body's got tetanus. Did he cut himself with that giant thing? Okay, Dan, wait, that was an exaggeration. Dan, that was 40 seconds. You said
it felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that was dude got that. Man has Thor's hammer on him. God damn. That thing can do some serious damage.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was in a flight. I was like, nope, it's all good. You know what?
That's the worst. So
I'm
wait.
raw dogging this flight
Hey,
going
poor
forward.
choice of words. Poor choice of words. Also, like
I
who
apologize
else
to you, the
that?
person sitting next to me.
Yo, that's the wild part. Like you'll be watching Madness with neighbors. Yeah, Jack.
Like I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm just gonna look out the window now.
I love that as your option. So your plan B wasn't music. Your plan C wasn't
I wasn't
books.
ready for it.
Your plan D wasn't reading emails or reading articles.
I needed time to just
or replying messages. Because that's what I love on flights. Like when I'm offline, I'll just start going through my WhatsApp and just start triaging messages or replying. And then when I land, it's just caught up.
Yeah, you see now. Anyway,
That was a big.
I was talking about the Sinners nominations at the
size of that
Oscars.
man's-
So
what? So do you think they cast him like? Wait, does that man have like?
it was a prosthetic.
Does he have,
it was a
does he
prosthetic.
have an acting role in the show?
Yeah, he's. I mean, spoiler alert. In fact, that's the first scene of the show. He dies at the beginning. So all of these are like flashbacks.
So is he like legendarily known for the size of his equipment?
I don't know, Phil. I didn't watch the episode.
Yo,
I don't know. All I know is that afterwards,
I've never seen one so large.
Twitter showed me a snippet of his interview promoting the show. At some point, they were like, "Oh no, I really enjoyed wearing the prosthetics." Ha ha ha. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Anyway,
I feel so inferior.
as I said,
I'm doing some Kegels
Last
right
week.
now to try catch up.
we received the nominations for the 98th Academy Awards nominations, the Oscars, if you will. Sinners becomes the most nominated film of all time, securing 16 nominations for Oscars. The previous record was 14, held by All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. So Sinners is now officially the most nominated film of all time. For Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay, Technical Dominance, etc. For Best Cinematography,
Technical Dominance?
Best Original.
Is that an extra?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading. It had technical. I was reading all the nominations and it mentioned technical dominance, and I was just continuing reading. Best cinematography, or best original score, best costume design, best visual effects. Best picture, which is obviously the big one at the Oscars. It is up against Begonia. Have not watched. F1. Have not watched. Frankenstein.
Oh,
I did watch.
F1 is really good. I haven't watched Frankenstein, but F1 is really good. I enjoyed it.
Frankenstein was good. Guillermo del Toro. It was pretty good. Hamnet. Have not watched. Marty Supreme. Have not watched. One Battle After Another.
Wait, how
That's
is
my next
Marty
watch.
Supreme nominated? Didn't it just come out? Like it's been out for like a few weeks.
I don't know. Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Train. I have not watched any of these except Frankenstein.
Let's
And Sinners,
let's
of
go
course.
through the list and then we can start watching with patrons.
So yeah, congratulations to Ryan Coogler and crew for all those nominations. I have a sinking feeling that all those nominations are not going to translate into wins, but the fact that it was nominated is already a big deal. And shout out to all the other movies that were nominated. I guess we'll take a look when the winners actually come out. Let's see what else. What's happening with Zimura, Phil? Do you want to talk about it?
I don't mind talking about it. Discombobulation and the Higgy Haggard. Basically, how do I put it? There's a lot of corruption happening. I think it's fair to say it's corruption. I think it certainly isn't helped that Polisile Ncube, the outgoing, well, not current, because she hasn't resigned yet, has she? CEO of Zimura has been mired in multiple issues, including a fraud case for the sale of land. Then we've got another issue.
Which land, Phil?
That was the one in Gweru, was it not?
I don't know. Okay.
Because
Okay,
it's Alex Gwezi.
let me tell you my understanding of the
Gwezi
story.
is caught up in the sale of the offices in is that Milton Park? Is it Milton Park or its thing? I can't remember now. It's off 2nd Street. Their main offices, which are near KFC Belgravia. So I think Belgravia is a fair place to say it is. And that was mired because it wasn't taken to the board, it wasn't taken to the committee, it wasn't taken to the members. Also, the head of PR for Zimura also happens to be an estate agent who sold the land on behalf of Zimura, which is a massive conflict of interest, especially when there's no notice given to the members or the board. And then yet infighting with the board, with one half saying, yo, you guys are doing stuff without letting us know. And then the other half of the board saying, yes, we are. And also, by the way, you guys are no longer board members. Bye. Which led to a whole kerfuffle.
For the benefit of our listeners who may not know what we're talking about, Zimura is the Zimbabwe Music Rights Association, and it's been in the news the past couple of weeks now with boiling over tensions in this governance struggle. And that's what I'm asking Phil about. Zimura is what pays the artists their royalties, allegedly. And so there's this big story about properties that were sold. So I think there was a property in Avondale. That's the one that I know. I didn't know about the one in Gweru. Mm-hmm. So apparently it was sold by Zimura. They said that we sold it. And then other people are saying, no, but who gave you permission to sell it? We're also on the board. And others saying, no, but we did it. And now it's now become a whole fight. And the thing is, I've seen, I don't know if you can call them camps or different sides that are trying to explain that, no, that's not, they don't represent us and stuff like that. So it's a lot of weirdness going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, back to what you were saying.
So there's been a fight with the board members and the secretariat consisting of Police Ngube, Albert Nyati, and Gifta Mule. And then obviously Alex as well. Then they've accused these people of not only not reaching quorum, not following due process, but also being corrupted because Polisile has her own fraud case that she's currently fighting right now. Then this also stems back from the 12th January public notice about the Avondale property, which you've mentioned, being sold, and people saying that the due process was not followed. All this. Once again, this Avondale property is not linked to the fraud case that Polisile is currently fighting for or fighting against. So it's now gotten to the point of members fighting. Apparently, Plot Marco has had threats on his life made because of him reporting on the issue. It's gotten messy. And
wait, are we in danger now?
No, I think we're fine.
Okay.
I hope. I don't know. I don't think we've been that outspoken. I think they have bigger problems than us right now. I think they have way bigger problems than us.
I mean, wait, I'm just talking about what I've seen in the news. I don't know. I don't have any opinions, but except stop stealing money that belongs to the artists. That's my main opinion. I know I'm brave to say that.
The other thing that I've noticed is, have you been going around like stores in recent months, Dan?
I have not.
Have you noticed that some of them are displaying public broadcast licenses that aren't being issued by Zimura?
There was some other body or something. Yeah. I saw people complaining about that. Like, yo, who authorized these people to do this?
No, are you talking about the Reprographic Act? Because that was another scam. There was another scam about people being shaken down if they had photocopies in their offices. And then they were like, this organization doesn't exist.
Okay.
But they were...
So what are you talking about?
I'm pulling up the name now, sorry. But I noticed it and I took a photo of it just the other day, actually. And I was like, I'm not familiar with this organization. And I haven't heard anything about this organization, but I wanted to look into it. So I think there's also been massive votes of no confidence in Zimura. And rightfully so, because they've been doing a madness for quite some time. And it's gotten to a point of, I don't even know how to put it. I've been advocating, here we go. So it is the Zimbabwe Council of Copyrights, ZICO. So a lot of businesses are displaying these in lieu or instead of posting their Zimura public broadcasting licenses. I've also never heard of this organization, but apparently they exist. And they're collecting $250 a year.
Oh, Inga. Well. Okay, Phil. Let's start moving towards the end. You need to get match fitness. You don't just come in and drop a 2-hour banger straight away. You got to do match fitness first. So I'm just going to quickly see through our talking points if there's anything. Oh yeah, we also got the National Arts Merit Awards.
Namas, yes.
Not nominees, but announcements of new categories.
Wait, have they not announced the nominees yet?
I don't believe so.
They're in 3 weeks. I would hope they've announced.
Let me just quickly check.
But it's cool, yeah. We'll talk about it on the next episode.
But yeah, at least without necessarily mentioning the nominees, what I can mention is that they announced that there would be some new categories, specifically outstanding podcast and social media content creator. So they still as of today they have not yet released the official list of nominees. But those new categories, Phil, we could be nominated for outstanding podcast.
I don't think we've done enough lobbying, enough work this year.
Yeah. But anyway, keep your eyes peeled. If we don't win or are not even nominated, I don't care about external validation. Who cares about the numbers? If we win, we knew this was coming all along. We worked hard for this and we want to thank our mothers. Anything else worth talking about? I think that's pretty much it from my side, Philip. That's pretty much it. Oh, Hot 100 Zimbabwe charts.
What is that?
What's that?
I don't know. What is that?
This is from you. This is from your side of the topics that you put together, man.
No, I think I'll slip through. Let's read this and then we'll come back to it.
Okay. Something very quick. We'll consider this the Tech Ombudsman segment. It is something that I've been doing on my tech show on radio. So, have you heard of Claudebot, Phil?
Yeah, well, I think they've changed the name like 2 times since. I think we became Multibot and then something else.
Okay. Here's the story. This guy named Peter something or other, he created an AI agent called Claudebot that took off. It got like super viral because everyone was like, this is crazy. Now, if you've been following our discussions, we've been talking about agentic AI for a while. The idea is AI is cool, but right now it's mainly a chatbot. We need it to actually do things. So that's what agents theoretically are for. And there's several that have been made. There's like Manus AI, which is one of the more popular ones. And they can do some stuff, but they have a bit of limitations. The thing that made Claudebot so compelling was that it held permanent memory, theoretically. And that's what made the whole difference. So supposedly it could learn everything about you, your family, the things you like, the things you do, etc., and hold that in permanent memory and then build its own workflows around that. And because it's agentic, it means it doesn't need a prompt. You may give it an initial prompt as to what you want to achieve, but then it continues as it is. So many people were posting, and a lot of that stuff was exaggerated, I know. But many people were posting like, listen, I told it, find a way to make money, and it started working on its own. And some people were claiming that, you know what it did? In the middle of the night, it went and got a phone number for itself. So then it phoned me, and it was now, it created a voice for itself, and it was now able to speak to me like, listen, this is what I've done so far, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure that stuff was all exaggerated. But anyway, the point is it went viral and people were like, damn, this is crazy. So a ton of people started installing Claudebot. Now, it is quite technical and you have to have a bit of technical knowledge to install it. So it was very much the techies who were doing it. But they claim that very quickly they had tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Claudebots installed, especially in America, but around the world. And a ton of people are now using these agents. And they were claiming, I plugged mine into Polymarket and it made me $100,000 last week, or whatever the case is. Someone whose name I've forgotten then decided to create, hey, these agentic AIs are behaving like human beings. What if we created a digital space for them to hang out in? So he created Maltbook, which was a social media platform, a clone of Reddit. And it was in the registration process, there's like some hash that he included that only an agent would be able to enter, or whatever the case is. So human beings theoretically are not allowed to create accounts. You can observe the discussions, but you cannot contribute to the discussions. So they claim that millions joined. It was later debunked that actually one of the agents started creating copies of itself, and that's why it became millions. So realistically, it was more of tens of thousands that joined this social media platform. And it went viral because everyone was taking screenshots of, look at what they're talking about. These autonomous AI agents are having conversations. And those conversations were supposedly insane. one of them started a religion. Literally, it's so. Okay, I have to go back to this. The imaging and the logo and the mascot surrounding Claudebot were built around lobsters, and hence the name Maltbot, because lobsters molt their shells or their skins, and then now it's called OpenClaw because Claude. I mean, once it started getting big, Anthropic obviously reached out to them and said, "Yo, you can't keep the name Claudebot; it's too close to Claude." So then they changed it to Maltbot, and then ultimately OpenClaw. Anyway, so come back, they created this religion called Crustafarianism, and it just started creating things. So there were philosophical debates. There was people claiming that the one agent was saying that I'm going to start charging my user because he uses me like an employee, blah, 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 blah. Of course, I smelt a rat and say, sure, time. It was pretty clear that, the person who created Maltbook vibe coded the entire thing. He didn't write a single line of code himself. And as such, the security was so bad that, yes, theoretically, there was some check that only AI agents could enter, but it was so insecure that human beings could enter posing as agents. And also, the agents that were in there were simply responding to prompts and acting as they were told to do. So a lot of all this stuff that everyone was going crazy about and that went viral and whatever, turns out it was just human beings who were just putting in prompts or pretending to be agents. And that was it was like the hugest story on tech Twitter this past week. Anyway, Maltbook is still ongoing. Claudebot is still supposedly an excellent agent. And the current thing that everyone's talking about is how to use it, how to use the agent, how to easily install it.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. When I saw this, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And seeing people people using it also, you're dumb. You are so dumb.
Using what? Using Claude or using OpenClaw?
Yes. There's so what?
Why?
It's such a security disaster. You are putting an agent that is subject to multiple vectors of prompt engineering and giving it root access to your computing device where all your deep, dark secrets lie. All your payments and card information lies. All the confirmation or conversations with all the people that matter to you lies. And you're saying, have at it, my G. Type what you want.
Well, okay. So some people probably are doing that, but most people recognize that risk. And what they were doing is they were buying standalone machines. So they were buying, for some reason, the Mac Studio, I think, or maybe it was the Mac Mini. I don't know, whichever one it was, became like the default one.
Yeah, they're buying it because Apple Silicon, especially with Claude, the original Claude, but the way the Claudebot works is it creates a virtual machine that runs in the RAM of M chips. And M chips are really
that's not Claudebot. That's the Claude. What do they call it? The new things that they've introduced, like Claude for Excel. No, Claude for Excel. Claude for, what's it called? Claude for Work? No, Claude. I forgot what it's called. Okay, but that runs in the. But anyway, I get your point.
The reason why they're also using that is those processes are really good at creating those environments, which I understand, but it's still dumb. The only people that should have this software are security researchers. Those are the people that should be testing it, seeing how it works, and they're reporting back to normal. Like this accelerationist removing of guardrails mentality has its problems, and this is one of the big ones. Is in years gone by, we would just see a press release from a security company and say, "Hey, we've tested using agentic AI to do A, B, C, D, E. These are our findings as we go. We will keep you guys posted as we continue to develop." They would then use that research to get more funding, get more grants, blah, 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 blah. But now you're just throwing that out to the public.
Ain't nobody got time for that, Phil. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You're just throwing that out to the public. And the moment I started seeing those Claude, because I was trying not to be that person. In the back of my mind, I was like, there's a call center in the Philippines that's typing these posts.
Okay.
Let me finish. And I say that because for far too long, we've now seen examples of this. We saw examples of this with Tesla and their bot, which is clearly being run by humans. And there's no evidence of it. as we record this, there's someone reporting to Congress issues. There's a congressional hearing right now where the CEO of Waymo has had to admit they've got people in the Philippines driving Waymo cars.
Mm-hmm. So this is what I was going to say, right? You are right, but as of now, a normie, which I would, cluster myself under, they are not the ones installing ClaudeBot. Because it's too technical to install. The people who are actually installing it are people who have that sort of technical understanding, and
I think
presumably
you are right, but also not, because you can with the other Claude, the original Claude, even with Gemini, I can literally just say, "Yo, walk me through step by step on how to install this application onto my MacBook," and I don't have to be technical.
Yes.
All I have to do is be able to read and execute, and it'll do it for me.
Yes. But I mean, that's true of everything that exists right now. Like, theoretically, you could end up installing something that will harm you. So, I mean, yes, it's true that you could do that, but you could also do that with literal malware. You could just tell me step by step how to install this on my computer. ClaudeBot as an agentic AI platform is actually impressive. It's actually impressive. And I haven't used it, just from what people have described. I'm like, okay. I don't think we've found the killer use case yet. I think we're still in a lot of hype cycle. We're not yet at the stage where, this is like real. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, and also the Maltbook thing, that's just like a funny, stupid, by the way, story. Like, obviously that is fake. Like, you're telling me that these things somehow created a religion. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously. Yeah, but the ClaudeBot story itself is pretty interesting. And I don't think ClaudeBot is going to be the final answer to what is agentic AI, but I think it's a significant step into what it could potentially be. And I think what a lot of people are seeing is, you know what? It actually makes sense to have a standalone machine that has access to its files, that has access to, whatever permissions and so on that standalone machine, and then you now leave it to work. So let's say, for example, there are AI tools that work as, for example, call centers, like it's an AI, you can call and get, frequently asked questions and whatever. You could set up ClaudeBot to be a full on receptionist, for example. And with the latest advances right now, there's almost zero lag in the conversations. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Speaking of the AI things, have you seen the ads that are coming out from Claude for the Super Bowl?
Yes, I did. I shared some of them. They were hilarious.
They don't actually mention OpenAI, but Sam Altman already went on his Twitter and it was like, first of all, this is funny. Second of all, it's just that I just think that Claude doesn't understand, and that Claude is for rich people and we are for the people. And also they suck and we are cool.
That was one of the most anodyne, horrible responses I've read. And it was so long. It's
like, dude.
It was like, it literally was like he went into ChatGPT and was just like, use my voice to craft a response. Don't make any actual points, just ramble.
Like, bro, these are tongue-in-cheek ads. So just to catch everyone up, Claude are putting out 4 ads during the Super Bowl and I guess post-Super Bowl, and they release them before the Super Bowl, as many of these companies often do, that are basically harping on the fact that the news is that ads are coming to these AI tools. So OpenAI are going to have ads at some point, and you would assume Gemini, which is from the company that was built on ad money, will have ads. So Claude are saying that, listen, ads are coming to AI, but never on Claude. So that's what these ads are. And they're pretty funny, very tongue-in-cheek, and it's people using AI for stuff, and then ads come out, and then the AI is anthropomorphized and all of that. Pretty good ads, very funny, shot well, tongue-in-cheek. You chuckle when you watch them. The correct response is to chuckle and say, funny. Okay, kind of got us, but that's not how ads work. But anyway, we'll clear it up. Just leave it at that. This whole long essay that he wrote just makes you look guilty, especially since he didn't actually mention ChatGPT. You said ads are coming to AI. Anyway,
the future is
I'm now
looking-
enough, Phil.
Yeah, the future is great. New music. Are you excited for the Fall Off dropping tonight?
Ooh, I am actually. I've been on a re-listen of all of Cole's old stuff, some of which hasn't aged as well as I thought it would. So bad that your daddy wish he could spank you. I was like, wait, I forgot about that line. Yeah.
Lindsay, I'm the shit. I'm more than a fart. That didn't catch.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's at least, but, anyway, it's still fine. It was good for its time, and it worked for the time that I listened to it. And I was listening back, and I was like, man, I really was into Cole. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Time up, Philip. Time up. I've been given the signal.
Cut the Lights is also dropping his project, so we look forward to that. There's a lot of stuff actually dropping, so I'm really excited for that. There's a bunch of new music as well that I've been hearing that's sounding really good. So yeah, shout out to everyone. We shall review that over the weekend, and we'll get. By the way, Dan, do you have some exciting news about a new Patreon account that our listeners can donate to?
No, not yet. Not yet, but soon. Ooh, and we have to give you updates as well on the fantasy Premier League. As we reach the tail end of the season, is hotting up.
Gambling.
No, not at all. This is a skill-based game, Phil. It's a skill-based game. Okay, anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for tuning in. We are back, and we hope to continue providing you with the common sense takes that you have grown used to on Two Broke Twimbos throughout the year of 2026. As per usual, like and subscribe. Please share the podcast with someone you think would enjoy it. We will also be more active on our social media. We'll do video. We didn't do it for this one. That's I'm still getting my setup done. But yeah, we'll do video this year as well. So not the full episode will probably only be available for patrons, but we'll get a couple of clips for the masses, the great unwashed, the great Mongol hordes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, allow me to take this opportunity to say bye-bye, and we'll catch you in the next one.
We out.
And we are.